So a very, very warm welcome back to the 21-22 season here in the Balearics. For all of our Balearic teams, you're tuning in or listening, wherever you may be tuning in and listening or watching this video cast to a kick in the Balearics. Myself, Richie, I'm in Mallorca. Martin is in Ibiza. And we sort of join it at a pretty much exciting time for Balearic football, Martin, isn't it?
Yeah, massive, Richie. Massive weekend in Ibiza, as we all know, because this is the weekend that UD Ibiza joined the big boys.
It is. I mean, if you didn't already know, there's been a total restructure of the Spanish football pyramid as it is. They've divided it up into sort of 5 leagues. La Liga, of course, is the main one that everybody knows about pretty much. That's where Real Mallorca are playing this year. Segunda is where UD Ibiza will be playing this year. Fantastic for UD Ibiza after just 6 years of being in football itself. It's an amazing story. Which we'll come on to. Then we get into Primera RFEF, Group 2, which Atletico Baleares are in. Segunda RFEF, which we've got quite a few. We're in Group 3 of Andrach, Peña Deportivo, CD Ibiza, Islas Pitiusas, and SD Formentera. And then we have what I think is actually a really exciting league, the Tercera RFEF, the Balearic League, which contains, Mark, I mean, this is going to be a really, really difficult league to get out of. Teams such as, obviously, our Real Mallorca's B team, also Playas de Calvia, Manacor, even a couple of teams from Menorca this year as well, which we're looking forward to seeing. So, and some good teams from Ibiza, Inter Ibiza are in that as well. We've got some, as I say, that is a really, really strong league. So let's get on to the nitty gritty. Do you want to go? Shall I give you the opportunity to go first? As though you're the new boys.
I mean, normally it's all about Real Mallorca, but I think that we've got to dedicate this one this week to UD Ibiza, haven't we, Richie? Because Friday night, 10 o'clock, a good time to kick off, isn't it? 10 o'clock. We've got the first match ever for an Ibiza team to be in the second division. Richard, can we call it the second division, please? Because I don't think I can keep calling it the La Liga Smart Bank or whatever. So the Segunda, second division, UD Ibiza. First up, they're away to Real Zaragoza. Now, we all know that Zaragoza got a big history. They beat your team, Arsenal, plenty of years ago.
Not that again. Come on.
Give me a chance, mate. Give me a chance. But it just shows you the pedigree of the teams in the league, Richie, really, that you're going up against the Cup Winners' Cup winners. So it really is going to be down to earth with a bump on Friday night, but we're really excited.
Listen, I suppose it's probably the biggest Friday nights Ibiza's had for about 18 months, isn't it?
Well, since the party night in Sergeant Pepper's back in the 90s, mate, that's the biggest Friday night ever. However, I mean, I've got a feeling it's going to be a real tough one to open with, Rich. But we've got to be confident. We're on a crest of a wave here. We don't know. We're in uncharted territory, so we really don't know what to expect. Are we going to win it? Are we going to nick it? Is it going to be a ball draw? Are we going to get spanked? We don't really know, Richie, but I've got a feeling that we might come away with a draw.
Well, listen, all that you just said there, I think applies to all the teams playing you. Nobody really seems to know too much about Ibiza. I mean, they might have seen them, they've done a couple of good runs in the Copa del Rey in the last couple of years. But apart from that, they're really sort of going under the radar. I think they've got a good manager, the former assistant to Unai Emery, as we know. Obviously, the owner's got a lot of money. He's ploughed a lot of money into the club. They've invested in the club. New signings, I've sort of kept an eye too much on new signings. But how are we looking?
Yeah, we've got a couple, mate. We haven't really gone big. The exciting one is Bogus from Leeds, yeah?
I heard about him, the Polish boy.
Yeah, Polish lad. He's from Leeds. Leeds is his parent club, but he was in, who was he with last year? I think he was in the Segunda with somebody last year. I can't remember. However, we've signed him on loan for the season. He's already scoring goals for fun in the pre-season. He looks a real player, Richie, yeah? He got a couple of goals in a friendly the other day. One which was a fantastic free kick, one which we took really well. So we're excited about it. He's only 19 years of age. As I say, Polish lad, Leeds is his parent club. I think he's going to be one that we have to keep an eye out for. And we've got Appin as well, Kevin Appin as well. He's come in from he was Segunda B as well. He looks like a bit of a Makaleli stroke Conte, I don't want to talk him up too much, but you know what I mean, that kind of player. Engine room there as well. So, really excited. Most of the players are the ones from last season, Richie, as well. So, we've got Sergio Castel up front, who scored the important goals last year. Javi Lara's pulling the strings in midfield. You've got Goldar at the back, Herman in goal. So we've got more or less the same framework as last season. So it's going to be really interesting to see how those players step up, because this is a massive level to step up to.
Yeah, totally. It's a totally different thing altogether. Okay. And you will find there's a lot of teams that are pretty much on a par with each other. Do you know what I mean? The teams that will have an advantage in that league will be the teams that came down from La Liga last season, because they'll have a bit of a head start on the money and everything else point of view. But look, everybody starts on 0 points, so you've always got a chance. How's the stadium looking?
We don't know.
Oh, really?
There's not been any. I think it's all been closely kept under wraps, but. They are slowly leaking photos. It looks good. It will be there or thereabouts. Although maybe the first game might get changed to from home to away versus Malaga. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if that happened. But we've got to be positive. Really exciting. Me and my son have bought season tickets, so we're going to be there every other week and reporting back on this show.
How many will the stadium be able to hold, Mark?
I think we're looking at about 5,000, Rich, at the moment. Okay,
good.
Which is the maximum, isn't it, under Balearic law at the moment? So we're looking at about 5,000, but they've already done 2,500 season tickets, I think. I think they have to reserve for away fans as well. So the stadium is going to be full, Rich. I'm really excited seeing the stadium because it's been a complete overhaul. Yeah. So we're really excited. Grass pitch as well, I know, which might sound a bit strange to all those people listening from other European countries, but we've never had a fully functioning grass pitch in my lifetime here in Ibiza. So that's going to be a game changer as well. So, as I said, looking forward to it, Richie. And you'll be seeing my tweets and social media on Saturday morning. I'm either going to be cock a hoop or head in hands moment, isn't it? So, because we don't know. We don't know, mate.
No, so listen, we wish UD Ibiza all the luck. It's a long season, it's 42 games. It's a hell of a season for them. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be tough, we know. But look, finish 17th, stay in the league. I think that's the goal for them. Obviously, finish higher if you can. You know what I mean? But I think that just try and stay in the league, because it's not only good for the club itself, but it's also good for Balearic football as well. That we both have boys playing in Balearic football, and we both believe that the more clubs we have successful here on the islands, the better it is for everybody growing up into football as well. Absolutely. So let's look at Real Mallorca. Obviously, promoted back from La Liga Smartbank / Segunda, whatever you want to call it, last season. And I think this year, they've become a lot more prepared. They've signed some good players, some strong players that have got ability and also have got experience in La Liga, which they didn't have last time. We pretty much went up with the same squad, didn't really sign too many players, and we struggled. As soon as we got a few injuries, we were struggling for players and squad and stuff like that. And, as we know, they got relegated straight away. Off the field, a couple of good deals have been done. We've signed a 5-year deal with Nike for our kit, which is a fantastic deal for the club, I think, moving forward. And then finally, they've settled their debt with the Hacienda, which is the tax office here, after 11 years of trying to restructure the debt and everything else. It's all been done now. And I have to hold my hands up and get a big round of applause for the American owners. They've been fantastic for this club since they took over. Can't knock them any way, shape or form. They've invested money, invested over 40 million in the club. Obviously, they're now going to reap the rewards, having got themselves back into La Liga. But all fair, that's what you want to do. I mean, Mallorca is becoming known as one of the best run clubs right now. And, as we know, with all the big clubs, Barcelona and Real Madrid right now, Spanish football has got a big microscope over it at the minute. Do you know what I mean? And everybody's looking at the finances in Spanish football. So we're glad about that. From the point of view of signings, Amath has come back. He was on loan from Getafe last year. He's come back. We've signed him on a 5-year deal. Angel Rodriguez, also from Getafe. will be a good player. He's 34. He's got a lot of experience, scored goals for Getafe and Levante, I think it was. So he's good. We've bought Dominic Grief as cover for Manolo Reina. He's come from Slavia Bratislava, I think they're called. He's a Slovakian international, which is great. And Pablo, what's he called? Pablo Maffeo, I think that is. Jaume Costa and Rodrigo Battaglia, I think that's how you pronounce his name as well. All come with great La Liga experience. The squad is being built on La Liga experience, which is great. But I think the biggest and the best signing happened yesterday, Thursday, which was Take Kubo, who we had on loan from Real Madrid in the 2019-20 season. Fans' favourite. The fans love him. The fans get lifted every time he gets the ball. Japanese international, took Japan or helped Japan get to the semi-finals of the Olympics just now, where, funny enough, they got beaten by Spain on penalties, I think it was. But Kubo would be a fantastic signing for us. It's only a year loan right now, but he hasn't really kicked on since he played for us here in Mallorca. He's been on loan at Villarreal and Getafe. Didn't really ensconce himself well into either club, but he had a couple of other offers, but apparently he wanted to come back to Mallorca. He enjoyed his time here. I think it's a great signing.
Don't you think there's certain players just click with certain teams, Richie, don't they? I think Kubo's
totally
one of those players which clicked with Mallorca. Last time he was here 2 seasons ago, he set the team alight, didn't he? Really, he was a real player, and I think it's a massive sign for Mallorca. The other players that you mentioned there, as well as you said, I think last time around Mallorca weren't prepared, were they? This time, no. I think the American owners know how important it is to stay in La Liga. Also, how difficult it is to get into La Liga. And
of course.
How easy it is to get out of La Liga. Okay, so I mean, we mustn't forget that Mallorca were in Segunda B 4 years ago, was it? It's been an amazing story as well. Listen, Real Mallorca have got no divine right to stay in La Liga or Segunda, and I think they're really well prepared this season, Richie. And I'm looking forward to it. And the fact that we're knocking on Ibiza, knocking on UD Ibiza, knocking on the door of Real Mallorca is such an amazing thing for Balearic football.
Yep. Pre-season, they've had a good pre-season. They've only lost one game in pre-season. I think goals are, I think they're still looking for a centre forward if they can find one. Isn't everybody right now, to be perfectly honest. Someone can put the ball in the onion bag, but let's see.
What about the Croatian lad, mate? What happened to him in the end?
Budimir?
Yeah, Budimir. What happened to him?
Went off to, he went on a permanent to Osasuna where he was when he was out on loan. Yeah, so he's now gone.
What price did you get for him, Rich?
8 million, I think it was in the end.
Okay, decent. Yeah, okay, decent return. Fair enough. That's probably how you funded your next wave of players. In that case, fair enough.
Yeah. And also we lost Luca Romero, of course, which is a bit of a shame. The Argentinian, Spanish, Mexican, whatever.
I was surprised, Richard. Very surprised about that one.
Yeah, I mean, he went to Lazio.
At 16/17, I would have thought he'd have been knocking on the door of La Liga games this year as well. So, do you think money was turned his head? Simple as that.
Totally, mate. Yeah. Totally. Unfortunately, that's the way of the world. And yes, I think you're right. I think he probably would have benefited more by staying here in La Liga. Probably would have got some games, I think. But yeah, his head was turned by money, and Mallorca will end up with 200 grand. I think that's wrong. I think it's, from the player that they bought, obviously he came from Ibiza originally. He came from Formentera originally, through the ranks into Ibiza, then into Mallorca. For them to lose him for pretty much nothing, I don't think it's right.
He's a real prospect as well, by the way.
Yeah.
And the fact
he's a good player.
Gone to a team like Lazio. He might get game time in Serie A now and come up. So the fact that you've only got 200k, mate, I mean, that's daylight robbery.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but you're sort of asking yourself why. Well, basically because he was a 15-year-old when he was playing for Mallorca. He couldn't sign a professional contract. He was 16. He decided not to sign a professional contract with Mallorca, and they had no, they could pressurise him into signing one, so they ended up with just the sort of the fee they got for bringing him through, which is paltry, really, when you think about it.
I think his dad's his manager. I think his dad knows what he's doing. So
yeah. You mentioned the Balearic government 5,000 fans. Actually, I think it's gone up. I think it's up to about 40% now. So for Mallorca's game on Saturday night against Real Betis, the first game, 8,775 fans can go and see that particular game. That's in place for the first 2 games. And then depending on what happens with the pandemic, then, hopefully that'll be increased, which basically means what they're going to do. We have 14,500 season ticket holders. I spoke to the club the other day. they're going to everybody that's got a ticket that's got an even number will go to the Betis game, and everybody's got the ticket that's got an odd number will go to the Espanyol game, which is in 2 games' time. So that's how that's going to work. And the club have said if you can't go to the games, you are able to transfer it to another person if you wish. So that's all good. I mean, funny enough, I couldn't go this weekend, so I'm not, and I'm not missing because I've got an odd number, so I'm not missing out on the game. I'll be able to watch it on TV, but I won't actually be able to go to the game. Plus, I don't know if you know also that, and I imagine it's the same for Segunda as well, that you have to be double vaxxed to go in. So you
have to have you have to be
or a PCR.
PCR antigen. Don't you? You have to have some form of paper to go in, which is obviously the way it's going, isn't it?
Exactly. So we'll quickly move on to just the lower echelons. But I think Atletico Balearic has got a good chance of getting themselves promoted to Segunda, which is once again what we'd all like to see. Atletico Balearic, I do go and watch it on occasion just to take in what they're doing. One of their best. Well, they've kept together pretty much the whole squad. The manager they kept, who was the coach who was kept on after the sacking of the manager last year. So they've kept that going. Javi Calm is his name. So calm by name, calm by nature. And also, I think one of the best signings is they brought the tank back. Vinicius Tanque has come back, and they've signed him this time. He's not on loan. They've signed him properly, and I've watched him. He's a big old lump at the top, but he can put the ball in the back of the net. And I think that's, in all football, that's what you need. They've done a tremendous job on the stadium. I'm looking forward to actually going back and have a look, see if they've actually done anything more to the stadium since I last went. But yeah, looking forward to watch Atletico Balearic play as soon as they kick off.
Remember last season, Richie, where they had a terrible start, didn't they? And about halfway through, we were like, this is going all pear-shaped. The recovery from then to now has been amazing, because obviously they battled their way into the RFEF Primera, so they've got a chance to get into the Segunda next year, which is what any team wants there as well. So fantastic Atletico Balearic. I think they're going to be the one I think they'll be a very interesting team to follow this year. They always are, but I think especially this year, because I think they've got momentum.
Yeah, and as I say, I'm looking forward to actually going to see them play a few games as well. Segunda RFEF, our teams are in Group 3. That's Andratx, Peña Deportiva, Ibiza Islas Pitiusas, and Formentera. I mean, that's quite a strong 4 teams there, to be honest with you. All had pretty good seasons last year, to be honest. Pitiusas have come up, and so have Andratx. Peña Deportiva pretty much stayed where they are, and SD Formentera have come up as well. So that's quite strong. I'm, they're looking forward to seeing how all those teams do. And then, as I mentioned a bit earlier on, Tercera RFEF, I think is going to be a great league to watch this year. There's some good teams in there. UD Poblense, who went down from Segunda last year, or Segunda B as it was. You've got Manacor in there. You've got Mercadal, the team from Menorca. See how they do, because obviously they won every game last year in Menorca as well. We've got Real Mallorca's B team. You've got a couple of teams in there. I think it's Ibiza San Rafael are in there. Inter Ibiza are in there. I'm definitely going to go along. That's what I was going to say. I was definitely going to go along and watch a few of those games, Mark, because there's some strong teams in there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Well, you've got Platchis de Calvi, which is your kind of local.
Yeah, that's my local team. Yeah.
We've got San Rafael, which is a San Antonio team, which you might think.
I forgot to mention SD Portmany, Mark.
And obviously,
sorry,
exactly. I was going to come on to that. You've got my team, which is SD Portmany, which SD Portmany have made a couple of big signings. I'm very close to the president there. He's quietly confident that they're going to hold their own this year as well. I'm not sure about promotion push, because I don't think it is about promotion push at this level, Richie. It's about staying there. It's massive.
I agree.
It's massive to stay there for a team like Portmany. But I agree, mate. It's going to be a really good year with all these Balearic teams there, and a real mixture as well.
Yeah, it's a good mix, Mark. It's a really good mix, and I'm really looking forward to it. Youth football hasn't started yet. I mean, my boys started training. My youngest, he started training next week. Your boy's gone back to training, I know, as well. Yeah. So we'll maybe concentrate a little bit more on youth football next week to see where everybody's going and what they're doing and everything else. But I think we can finish on the fact that football's strong here in the Balearics now. It's a really, really good time to be doing what we're doing, of course, reporting on it and going to watch it, of course, as well. And we'd just like to say good luck to all our teams.
Absolutely, man. I think many years the pressure's been on Real Mallorca. being our kind of sole big team. But now we've got UD Ibiza. I think Atletico Balearic on the way up as well, and all the other teams that we've mentioned there. So come on, good luck to all the Balearic teams, and let's go, boys. Let's bring it home. Yeah,
good luck to Ibiza tomorrow. Good luck to Mallorca on Saturday, and all our other teams that have got games this weekend. And we'll be back very soon to talk to you again, give you an update how we're all doing. Take care, Mark.
Cheers, Richie. Thanks, mate.